Hello! Today it is really rather cold here at Archaeoscoop Towers, though some may say that is fairly appropriate, as today marks the 100th anniversary of Captain Scott and his expedition reaching the South Pole. Now, there have been many stories in certainly the British news. There's been a couple international recognitions today, and also as well I've been posting loads on the Facebook page with regards to this, simply because I think it's a story which is often overlooked. It is, to a certain extent, archaeology. There certainly are still remnants of this expedition coming to light and being donated to museums, but also actually as well, it's often misunderstood in terms of its achievement. People often say, well, only really the British could really celebrate a man who came second to the pole. It's a great British tradition, you know, honouring the underdog. But that's actually missing the point. And even I, for a long time, didn't quite understand that Captain Scott's expedition achieved so much more than simply racing to the pole. Of course, infamously, they were beaten by a Norwegian team to that particular honour. But what they did achieve was to bring about certain paradigm changing finds which actually helped to shape a deeper understanding of Antarctica and indeed the whole world in terms of its history. So not least they discovered fossilised fern, indicating that at one point Antarctica had not just been a barren icy wasteland. They found some evidence which hinted at what would become known as continental drift, hinting that the supercontinent of Gondwanaland, I always have to read that, I can never quite remember it, even though I love the name, hinting that this supercontinent once existed, comprising of India, Africa, New Zealand, Australia and Antarctica. And not only that, but they also went out of their way for a couple of weeks to study an emperor penguin colony in order to get more information for natural history buffs. So this wasn't just a race, this was an expedition filled with scientists and researchers, biologists, geologists, etc. To actually discover more about Antarctica. And in that sense, this is an anniversary well worth remembering. Of course, yes, Captain Scott was horribly disappointed, so some say, and others say he wasn't, when he got to the South Pole and found the Norwegian team had beaten them there. But what we mustn't forget is that this wasn't just a race. This was also about furthering our understanding of a part of the world which is still very mysterious in many ways. Later this year, apparently there's going to be an attempt to drill down to an underwater lake, or an under ice lake, which has been sealed off for a couple of 100,000 years using hot water. So they're going to drill down, get some samples, and maybe even discover some new life forms. So this is very much a part of a tradition which is ongoing. Now I've rambled on about this a little bit, but mainly because I do agree with all of these different news outlets that this is well worth thinking about and putting into a context which is more than just the slightly what's the word? Conventional idea that he raced to the pole and lost. So with that in mind, I have, and indeed will be, on the YouTube channel putting in the information below the video links to various news stories which highlight what happened, but also the scientific legacy, and indeed the legacy of other institutions are now trying to preserve, of Captain Scott and his trip to the South Pole. And his team, of course. And naturally, I must end, of course, with the infamous lines, "I will now leave. I may be some time." See you next time.